Building a strategic mindset in your career. Master the art of long-term thinking, seize hidden opportunities, and position yourself for unstoppable success in work and life. A proven guide to thinking smarter, adapting faster, and leading your career like a true strategist.
Introduction. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to move effortlessly up the career ladder while others, equally talented, remain stuck in the same place for years? It's not always about hard work or luck, it's about strategy. Most of us are trained to think about the next step, but few are taught how to see the bigger picture. Without a strategic mindset, you risk running fast in the wrong direction, working harder but not necessarily smarter. This book is your guide to shifting from short-term thinking to long-term success. Inside, you'll learn how to think ahead, position yourself for opportunities, and make decisions that compound into real career growth. If you want to stop drifting and start leading your career with purpose, this book is for you. Don't forget to subscribe and follow along. You're about to unlock a new way of thinking.
Chapter 1. Think beyond today. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to get trapped in the daily grind? The emails, the deadlines, the meetings that feel endless? For most professionals, the majority of their time is consumed by what's urgent, not necessarily what's important. You finish a project, meet a target, or resolve a conflict, and you feel productive. But here's the truth. Short-term wins are deceptive. They give us a burst of satisfaction, but they often distract us from the bigger game we're playing, our long-term career and personal growth. This is where strategic thinking begins. A strategic mindset is the ability to look beyond immediate tasks and see where each choice might lead you in the months and years ahead. It's not about ignoring the present, but connecting today's actions to tomorrow's outcomes. Without this perspective, you might find yourself working harder every year, but not necessarily moving forward in your career. The trap of short-term thinking. Most of us are conditioned to chase results quickly. From childhood, we are rewarded for instant achievements, good grades, quick responses, immediate results at work. In the workplace, short-term success, meeting a deadline, hitting a weekly target, resolving a client issue, feels like progress. But over time, those short-term achievements can create a cycle of reactive behavior. You become excellent at solving today's problems, but fail to prepare for tomorrow's opportunities. Consider two employees. One focuses only on finishing tasks, while the other takes time to understand how those tasks align with the company's long-term vision. In just a few years, the second employee will naturally be seen as more valuable because they don't just do the work, they understand the strategy behind it. The difference isn't talent, it's perspective. Short-term thinking makes you a worker. Long-term thinking makes you a leader. Why thinking beyond today matters. Let's be clear, you don't need to be a CEO to think strategically. In fact, the earlier you develop this skill, the faster your career accelerates. Here's why thinking beyond today matters so much. Opportunities are invisible until you plan for them. Without a long-term perspective, opportunities pass by unnoticed. You only recognize them when it's too late. Strategic thinkers anticipate and prepare. Growth compounds over time. Just as investments grow with compound interest, so do skills, relationships, and reputation. Small but consistent long-term decisions, learning a new skill, building meaningful connections, positioning yourself for leadership can multiply into massive success. Resilience against uncertainty. The world is unpredictable. Industries evolve, technology disrupts, and companies change. A short-term thinker panics when the unexpected happens. A strategic thinker adapts because they've already considered multiple scenarios. clarity of purpose. Strategic thinking gives direction. It helps you answer, why am I doing this today? Where will it lead me in 5 years? Without this clarity, even the hardest workers risk burnout. Shifting the mindset. So, how do you train yourself to think beyond today? It begins with small but powerful shifts in mindset. 1. Ask future-oriented questions. Instead of asking, what do I need to finish today, start asking, how will today's actions move me closer to where I want to be in 3 years? This simple shift reframes your daily tasks as steps in a larger journey. 2. See patterns, not just events. Short-term thinkers see events as isolated, a promotion, a conflict, a project deadline. Strategic thinkers connect these events into patterns. For example, if you notice your industry is leaning heavily toward digital transformation, that's not just a passing trend, it's a signal to invest in new skills now. 3. Think in systems. Your career is not a collection of isolated jobs. It's a system where skills, networks, and reputation interact. Strategic thinkers understand that today's relationships might influence tomorrow's opportunities, and today's skill building might determine tomorrow's career options. Practical steps to start thinking ahead. The theory sounds good, but how do you practice thinking beyond today in daily life? Here are some actionable methods. 1. Create a career map. Imagine your career as a roadmap. Write down where you are today, and then define where you want to be in 5, 10, or even 20 years. What roles do you want to hold? What industries excite you? What kind of impact do you want to create? When you know your destination, today's choices gain meaning. 2. Invest in skills before they're needed. The best time to learn a skill isn't when your job demands it, it's before. Think of skills as investments. If you anticipate your industry is shifting toward artificial intelligence, start learning it now. That way, when the shift happens, you'll already be ahead. 3. Build relationships proactively. Don't wait until you need help to start networking. Relationships take time to grow. Strategic thinkers build connections with mentors, peers, and industry leaders long before they need them. Later, those relationships often open doors that short-term thinkers never see. 4. Practice scenario planning. Ask yourself, if my company changed direction tomorrow, how would I respond? If my role became irrelevant, what would I do? Thinking about multiple scenarios doesn't make you negative, it makes you prepared. 5. Align tasks with strategy. Before jumping into a task, pause and ask, how does this support my long-term goals? If it doesn't, can you delegate it, minimize it, or reframe it to align with your vision? Breaking free from the busy trap. One of the biggest enemies of strategic thinking is busyness. People wear the "I'm busy" like a badge of honor. But being busy is not the same as being effective. You can be busy every single day and still remain stuck. To think beyond today, you need to create space for reflection. Block out time weekly to step back from daily tasks and look at the bigger picture. Ask yourself, am I moving closer to my vision, or am I just spinning in circles? Real-life example: the chess player versus the checker player. Think of career strategy like a game. In checkers, each move is simple, immediate, and obvious. The game is fast, but limited. In chess, every move is connected to the next 5 or 10 moves. A skilled chess player doesn't just react to the opponent, they anticipate, plan, and position. Most people play career checkers. They move one step at a time, reacting to what's in front of them. Strategic thinkers play chess. They see the entire board, anticipate challenges, and position themselves for long-term success. Which game are you playing? Developing a long-term perspective in daily life. You don't have to wait for a big promotion or life change to practice long-term thinking. Here's how to bring it into daily life. When making decisions, zoom out. Instead of asking, what's easiest right now, ask, what will serve me best 5 years from now? Think in decades, act in days. Keep a long-term vision in mind, but break it down into daily actions. This balance prevents overwhelm while keeping you on track. Seek mentors who think ahead. Surround yourself with people who have already walked the path you aspire to. Their perspective will naturally pull you into longer-term thinking. Celebrate progress, not just results. Sometimes the real win isn't completing a task, it's knowing that task is part of a bigger vision. Final thoughts. Building momentum. Thinking beyond today doesn't mean ignoring the present. It means using today as a stepping stone toward a bigger tomorrow. When you start training your brain to connect daily actions to long-term goals, your career stops being a series of disconnected events and becomes a powerful, strategic journey. Remember this, your future isn't built in one big leap. It's built in small, deliberate choices made every single day. The more you think ahead, the more control you gain over your destiny. And by mastering the art of thinking beyond today, you're not just working for success, you're building it, piece by piece, move by move. And this is the foundation of a truly strategic mindset.
Chapter 2. Vision is your compass. Have you ever set out on a road trip without knowing the destination? At first, the drive might feel exciting. You roll down the windows, turn up the music, and enjoy the ride. But after a while, without a clear direction, frustration sets in. You don't know whether you're making progress or just going in circles. The same thing happens in careers. Without a clear vision, you may be moving fast, working hard, and achieving short-term wins, but you're not necessarily moving toward the future you truly want. A vision is more than a vague dream. It is a mental picture of your desired future. Think of it as your career's compass. No matter how chaotic the journey becomes, vision keeps you oriented toward what matters most. Goals may change, jobs may shift, and industries may evolve, but a clear vision keeps you anchored. Without it, you risk climbing the ladder of success only to realize it's leaning against the wrong wall. Why vision matters. People often confuse vision with goals. A goal is specific and measurable. I want to earn a promotion in the next 12 months, or I will learn data analysis this year. Vision, however, is broader. It answers the deeper questions. What do I want my career to represent? How do I want to be remembered? What kind of impact do I want to create? Vision matters for 3 powerful reasons. Direction in chaos. Work environments are unpredictable. Companies restructure, industries shift, and technology disrupts. Without a vision, these changes can throw you into panic or leave you feeling lost. With a vision, you can adapt without losing your sense of direction. Energy and motivation. Vision fuels resilience. On tough days when you feel drained or stuck, your vision reminds you why you started. It turns daily grind into meaningful effort. Strategic choices. Vision filters opportunities. Without it, every option looks tempting, and you risk spreading yourself thin. With it, you can say yes to the right things and confidently say no to distractions. The danger of a missing vision. Let's imagine 2 professionals. Sarah is ambitious but reactive. She takes every opportunity that comes her way without much thought about the bigger picture. After 10 years, her resume is full of roles, but she feels unfulfilled and scattered. James started his career with a clear vision. He wanted to become a leader in sustainable business. Even though he took on different jobs,
Each one was aligned with his vision. 10 years later, James isn't just successful, he's respected as an authority in his field. Sarah worked hard, but without a compass, she drifted. James worked strategically, guided by vision, and built a career that had coherence, impact, and meaning. The difference between drifting and building is vision. Crafting your career vision. So, how do you develop a vision that acts as your compass? It's not about writing the perfect statement in one sitting. Vision evolves over time, but the key is to start with clarity about what truly matters to you. Here are steps to guide you. 1. Reflect on core values. Values are the foundation of vision. Ask yourself, what do I care about most in my career? Creativity? Stability? Influence? Service? Innovation? If your vision ignores your values, you'll eventually feel unfulfilled, no matter how successful you look. 2. Imagine your ideal future. Close your eyes and project yourself 10 or 15 years ahead. Where are you working? What kind of problems are you solving? Who are you surrounded by? How do people describe you? The clearer your mental picture, the stronger your vision becomes. 3. Define your impact. Vision is not just about what you achieve for yourself, it's about the difference you make. Do you want to inspire others, lead change, build something lasting, or solve meaningful problems? Impact gives your vision depth. 4. Write a vision statement. Put your vision into words. Keep it short, clear, and inspiring. For example, to become a trusted leader who drives innovation in healthcare technology, or to build a career that combines creativity with leadership, inspiring teams to achieve meaningful results. This doesn't need to be perfect, it's a living statement you can refine as you grow. Vision versus circumstances. One of the greatest challenges is sticking to your vision when circumstances change. Life rarely follows a straight path. You may face layoffs, failed projects, or unexpected opportunities. Here's the key. Vision is not about predicting the future perfectly, it's about guiding your choices when the unexpected happens. Think of vision like the North Star. Sailors may be blown off course by storms, but as long as they can see the North Star, they can reorient themselves and continue their journey. Similarly, when setbacks happen in your career, vision keeps you from losing yourself in the chaos. Using vision to make decisions. Once you have a vision, it becomes a decision-making tool. Every time a new opportunity arises, ask, does this bring me closer to my vision, or does it pull me away? This filter prevents you from wasting years on paths that don't truly serve you. For example, if your vision is to become a thought leader in digital marketing, you might say no to a high-paying role that doesn't align with that direction. Short-term, it might feel like a sacrifice, but long-term, it keeps you on track toward your bigger purpose. Aligning daily actions with vision. Having a vision is not enough. You must connect it to daily actions. A compass is useless unless you actually start walking in the direction it points. Here's how to align your everyday work with your vision. Set yearly milestones. Break your vision into achievable goals each year. These act as stepping stones. Develop key skills. Identify the skills that will support your vision and invest in learning them consistently. Build the right network. Surround yourself with people who share or support your vision. They will push you forward. Regularly review progress. Every few months, check, am I moving closer to my vision? What needs adjusting? Real-life example, Oprah Winfrey. Take Oprah Winfrey. Early in her career, she didn't just dream of being on television. Her vision was to use media as a platform to inspire and uplift people. That vision became her compass. Even when she faced failures and discrimination, she kept moving in alignment with that vision. Decades later, her empire wasn't built by accident. It was the result of a clear, guiding vision. Avoiding common pitfalls. When creating and living by your vision, beware of these common mistakes. Confusing vision with ambition. Ambition is about achievement. Vision is about direction and meaning. You can be ambitious without being strategic if you lack vision. Copying others. Your vision should reflect your values, not society's expectations or someone else's path. Keeping it vague, I want to be successful, is not a vision. Be specific about what success looks like for you. Never reviewing it. Vision evolves. What inspired you at 25 may not inspire you at 40. Regularly refine your compass. Building a visionary habit. Strategic thinkers make vision part of their lifestyle. They don't just set it once and forget it. They revisit it often, visualize it daily, and use it as a constant guide. Here's a simple practice. At the start of each week, remind yourself of your vision and ask, what 3 actions this week bring me closer to it? This small habit creates powerful alignment over time. Final thoughts. Your compass for life. Your vision is not just about career, it's about life. A career without vision can bring money but leave you feeling empty. A career guided by vision brings both achievement and fulfillment. It allows you to wake up each morning knowing your effort is contributing to something larger than yourself. Vision is your compass. It doesn't eliminate challenges, but it ensures you always know which way is forward. When chaos hits, when choices overwhelm you, when setbacks occur, your vision points the way. As you move forward, remember this: careers aren't built in a straight line. They twist, turn, and surprise you. But with vision as your compass, every step has meaning, every challenge becomes a teacher, and every victory feels like a step closer to the future you truly desire.
Chapter 3. Decoding the Bigger Picture. When you're buried in your daily tasks, replying to emails, attending meetings, finishing reports, it's easy to lose sight of the larger context. But here's the truth. The world doesn't reward people who only work hard. It rewards people who can see beyond the immediate. The most successful professionals are not those who simply execute tasks, but those who understand the patterns, trends, and forces shaping the environment around them. They don't just focus on the job, they focus on the landscape. Think of it like this. A sailor can be skilled at rowing, but if they don't know where the tide is going, they might end up in the wrong place. Similarly, in your career, if you don't decode the bigger picture, what's happening in your company, your industry, and the world, you risk rowing in circles. Why the bigger picture matters. Decoding the bigger picture is about perspective. It allows you to anticipate change instead of reacting to it. Most people get caught off guard when industries shift. Strategic thinkers see it coming and prepare early. Spot hidden opportunities. What others see as random events, strategic thinkers recognize as signals of a larger trend. Add unique value. Employers, leaders, and clients trust people who understand not just the task at hand, but the context in which it exists. Position yourself for growth. By aligning with where the world is going, not just where it is now, you become future-proof. This is not about being a genius. It's about training your brain to see patterns and connect dots. The danger of tunnel vision. One of the biggest traps in modern work is tunnel vision. You get so absorbed in your role, your department, or your immediate deliverables that you lose awareness of the larger environment. This creates blind spots. For example, many talented professionals in traditional media ignored the rise of digital platforms in the early 2000s. They were excellent at their jobs, but failed to see the shift in how audiences consumed content. Meanwhile, those who spotted the trend, bloggers, YouTubers, and digital-first publishers,
captured the market. Tunnel vision makes you efficient today, but irrelevant tomorrow. Strategic thinking requires you to regularly zoom out and ask, what's really happening here? What's changing around me? How to train your mind to see patterns. Decoding the bigger picture is a skill you can practice. Here's how. 1. Zoom out regularly. Every week, take time to step back from your tasks. Instead of asking, what do I need to finish today? Ask, what direction is my team, company, or industry moving in? What patterns do I notice? This habit trains you to shift between detail and big picture. 2. Follow the signals. Signals are small indicators of larger changes, new technologies, shifts in consumer behavior, policy changes, or cultural trends often start small before they transform industries. A strategic thinker pays attention to these signals and asks, what could this mean in the long run? 3. Connect the dots. Patterns often emerge when you connect unrelated pieces of information. For example, if you notice more companies investing in remote work tools and more employees demanding flexibility, you can connect the dots and predict a larger trend toward hybrid workplaces. 4. Ask better questions. Strategic thinkers don't just ask what is happening. They ask why and what's next. For instance, why is my company investing heavily in automation right now? What does this mean for my role in the next 5 years? What skills will become more valuable if this trend continues? Decoding industry trends. Understanding your industry is a powerful way to stay ahead. Every industry has its own rhythm of change. To decode these shifts, try this. Study industry reports. Read annual reports, white papers, or research summaries. They reveal where your field is heading. Watch competitors. If competitors are making consistent changes, launching similar products, hiring for specific roles, it often signals a shift in the market. Talk to insiders. Conversations with mentors, colleagues, or industry veterans often reveal insights you won't find online. Observe customer behavior. Ultimately, industries evolve to serve customers. Pay attention to what people are asking for, complaining about, or shifting toward. For example, the hospitality industry noticed a growing preference for experiences over luxury years before it became mainstream. Companies like Airbnb saw the pattern early and disrupted the entire industry. Those who missed the signal were left struggling. Seeing beyond your industry. Strategic thinkers don't limit themselves to their own field. They look at what's happening in other industries and borrow lessons. This cross-pollination of ideas sparks innovation. For example, Elon Musk drew inspiration from aerospace engineering and applied it to the automotive industry to create Tesla. Similarly, Amazon applied principles of logistics and technology to revolutionize retail. Ask yourself, what lessons from other industries could apply to mine? What disruptions elsewhere might eventually touch my field? Using the bigger picture for personal growth. Decoding the bigger picture is not just about business, it's about your personal career. Here's how you can use it. 1. Anticipate skill demand. By watching industry shifts, you can predict what skills will be in demand. For instance, years ago, professionals who noticed the growth of data analytics invested early in learning it. Today, they are leaders in the field. 2. Position yourself strategically. If you notice your company moving toward digital transformation, position yourself as someone who can contribute to that vision. Volunteer for relevant projects. Take on roles that align with the future, and brand yourself as forward-thinking. 3. Build future-proof networks. Relationships are also part of the bigger picture. Build connections with people who are forward-thinking. Being in the right conversations exposes you to insights and opportunities others miss. Practical tools for decoding the bigger picture. To make this skill part of your lifestyle, try these tools. Trend journaling. Keep a notebook or digital file where you jot down interesting patterns, news, or changes you observe. Over time, you'll start seeing connections. The 3-level question. When something happens, ask, what does this mean for my team, company? Or what does this mean for my industry? What does this mean for me personally? Scenario planning. Imagine different future scenarios, best case, worst case, and most likely. This prepares you for multiple possibilities. Pattern conversations. Regularly discuss trends with peers or mentors. Sometimes, simply talking through observations helps reveal insights you wouldn't see alone. Real-life example. Netflix. Netflix is a classic case of decoding the bigger picture. In the early 2000s, they were mailing DVDs, but leadership noticed signals, increasing internet bandwidth, changing customer behavior, and the rise of on-demand entertainment. They connected the dots and shifted to streaming, long before it was mainstream. Later, they anticipated competition in streaming and pivoted to producing original content. Today, they dominate because they consistently decode the bigger picture, while companies like Blockbuster, focused only on the short term, collapsed. Avoiding overthinking. A word of caution, decoding the bigger picture doesn't mean becoming paralyzed by endless analysis. The goal is not to predict the future with 100% accuracy. That's impossible. The goal is to sharpen your awareness so you can make informed, strategic moves. Focus on identifying directional signals rather than obsessing over perfect forecasts.
Chapter 4. Play the long game. Have you ever felt like you were constantly reacting, rushing to meet deadlines, fixing last-minute problems, or chasing opportunities that others spotted before you? If so, you're not alone. Most people live their careers like a firefighter. They put out the flames in front of them, but they rarely step back to design a fire prevention system. The truth is, if you want lasting success, you must stop playing short-term games and start playing the long game. The long game is about patience, vision, and compounding effort. It's about understanding that real growth doesn't come from quick wins alone, but from small, deliberate actions that accumulate into massive advantages over years. Just as an athlete trains for years before competing at the highest level, your career requires consistent investment in skills, relationships, and positioning. While others chase instant rewards, the long-game thinker builds enduring success. The short game trap. The short game is seductive. Promotions, bonuses, recognition, these are quick hits of progress that make you feel accomplished. But here's the catch. The short game often keeps you reactive. You spend so much energy winning today that you forget to prepare for tomorrow. Imagine two professionals. The first works tirelessly for recognition and immediate results. The second spends time developing skills, cultivating relationships, and aligning with long-term industry trends, even if those investments don't pay off immediately. Fast forward 10 years, the first may be exhausted and plateaued, while the second has quietly built influence, stability, and authority. The trap of the short game is that it makes you look productive while keeping you stagnant. Playing the long game requires resisting that trap and committing to growth that isn't always visible today, but pays off exponentially later. Why the long game matters. 1. Compounding growth. The long game leverages the power of compounding. Just as money invested today grows exponentially with time, so do your skills, networks, and experiences. One skill learned today, practiced over years, can separate you from thousands of competitors. 2. Resilience during setbacks. Short game players panic when things go wrong because their focus is only on the immediate. Long game thinkers see setbacks as part of the journey. They know failures are temporary and often lead to valuable lessons. 3. Building reputation. Trust and credibility aren't built overnight. The long game allows you to consistently demonstrate reliability, leadership, and expertise until people see you as the go-to person in your field. 4. Freedom of choice. When you invest in the long game, you gain leverage. You have skills people need, networks that support you, and options that free you from desperation. Thinking like a long game player. Long game thinkers behave differently from short game thinkers. Here's how they stand apart. They delay gratification. Instead of chasing every shiny opportunity, they ask, will this matter 5 years from now? They invest in assets, not just financial assets, but skill assets, relationship assets, and reputation assets. They see setbacks as strategy. A failed project isn't the end. It's a data point to refine their next move. They focus on positioning. They don't just chase jobs. They place themselves where future opportunities naturally flow. How to start playing the long game. 1. Set a long-term vision. The first step is clarity. Where do you want to be in 5, 10, or 20 years? Don't just think about job titles. Consider the impact, lifestyle, and legacy you want. A clear vision gives meaning to today's sacrifices. 2. Build future-proof skills. Skills are your greatest asset in the long game. Ask yourself, what skills will be more valuable in the future? Invest in learning them now before they become mainstream. Skills in leadership, emotional intelligence, problem-solving, and adaptability never go out of style. 3. Cultivate deep relationships. Quick networking for short-term gain rarely lasts. Instead, build authentic, long-term connections, help others, provide value, and stay in touch. Over time, these relationships compound into powerful support systems. 4. Be strategic about opportunities. Not every opportunity deserves a yes. Long-game thinkers evaluate whether a new role, project, or partnership moves them closer to their ultimate vision. Sometimes saying no today is the most strategic move for tomorrow. 5. Create systems, not just goals. Goals are important, but systems make them sustainable. Instead of saying, I want to read 20 books this year, create a system, I'll read 30 minutes every morning. Systems build habits, and habits fuel the long game. Patience as a superpower. In a world obsessed with instant results, patience is a rare and powerful advantage. The most successful people understand that mastery takes time. Warren Buffett once said, I think the average Joe is too quick to want to get rich schemes instead of getting rich slowly. He was right. Growth follows its natural timeline. Patience doesn't mean waiting passively. It means working consistently without expecting immediate results. The long game rewards those who can stay committed when progress is invisible. While others quit, you keep going. That consistency creates separation. The role of sacrifice. Playing the long game often requires short-term sacrifice. You may choose to invest time in learning instead of entertainment, to take a role that offers growth instead of immediate pay, or to build relationships without expecting quick returns. These sacrifices are not losses, they're strategic investments. Think of an athlete training for the Olympics. While others relax, they push through grueling routines. They sacrifice comfort today for glory tomorrow. In your career, the same principle applies. Long-term rewards require short-term trade-offs. Real-life example, Jeff Bezos. When Jeff Bezos founded Amazon, his vision wasn't to sell books. His long game was to create the everything store and ultimately the most customer-centric company in the world. In the early years, Amazon barely made profits, and critics doubted him. But Bezos was committed to the long game, reinvesting earnings into infrastructure, technology, and logistics. Decades later, Amazon isn't just a bookstore, it's a global giant dominating multiple industries. Bezos's willingness to play the long game turned a simple online bookstore into one of the most powerful companies in history. Overcoming the urge for instant results. One of the hardest parts of playing the long game is resisting the urge for instant gratification. Social media, fast promotions, and comparison culture make us crave quick wins. To overcome this urge, redefine success. Measure progress by consistency, not by instant outcomes. Celebrate small wins. Every step forward is part of the bigger journey. Stay grounded in vision. Remind yourself of your compass. Ask, will this matter 5 years from now? Limit comparisons. Everyone's timeline is different. Comparing yourself to others is the quickest way to abandon your long game. Building momentum in the long game. The long game doesn't mean waiting years to see results. You'll notice momentum along the way. As you invest in skills, relationships, and positioning, small opportunities will start appearing. These wins are signs that you're on the right path. The key is to stay consistent. Momentum builds slowly at first, then rapidly accelerates. Think of pushing a heavy flywheel. The first turns are slow and exhausting, but once it gains momentum, it spins almost effortlessly. Your career works the same way. Practical steps to play the long game daily. Block time for future-building activities. Every week, dedicate time to learning, networking, or personal projects that align with your vision. Ask the 5-year question. Before making a decision, ask, how will this matter 5 years from now? Document your progress. Keep a journal of lessons, milestones, and growth that remind you of your trajectory when motivation dips. Balance short and long term. You still need short-term wins for momentum, but balance them with long-term strategies.
Chapter 5. Adapt like water. Think about the last time something unexpected completely changed your plans. Maybe it was a sudden shift at work, a company restructuring, or a new technology that made your skills feel outdated. Did you freeze, panic, or resist the change? Or did you adjust, flow with the circumstances, and turn it into an opportunity? In today's fast-moving world, adaptability is not just a nice-to-have, it is a career survival skill. More than survival, it is the secret weapon of strategic thinkers. Those who adapt quickly not only weather storms, but often come out stronger than before. The great strategist is like water, shapeless, flexible, and able to fit into any situation without losing its essence. Water doesn't fight obstacles. When it meets a rock, it flows around it. When it finds a crack, it seeps through it. And when it needs to, it gathers force and becomes a powerful wave. The same principle applies to your career. Adaptability allows you to remain strong, even when everything around you changes. The reality of constant change. We live in an era of relentless change. Technology evolves daily, industries shift overnight, and global events reshape entire economies. What was considered valuable 5 years ago may already be obsolete. If you cling to the idea that success comes from stability, you set yourself up for frustration. Stability is an illusion. Adaptability is the real anchor. The professionals who thrive are those who can quickly assess a new reality, adjust their strategy, and move forward without losing momentum. Consider Kodak. Once the giant of photography, it failed to adapt to digital technology, even though it invented the first digital camera. The company clung to its traditional film business while competitors embraced the new wave. The result? Bankruptcy. Contrast that with Netflix, which started as a DVD rental service. Instead of resisting digital streaming, it leaned into the trend and redefined the entertainment industry. The lesson is clear. Adaptability is the difference between becoming irrelevant and becoming revolutionary.
Why adaptability is strategic. Many people mistake adaptability for being reactive, but they are not the same. Reactivity is scrambling when things go wrong. Adaptability is proactively staying flexible so you can adjust without losing control. Strategic adaptability means you anticipate change, prepare for it, and use it to your advantage. Here's why adaptability is central to building a strategic mindset. 1. Change is inevitable. The faster you accept this truth, the more energy you save for adjusting instead of resisting. 2. Adaptability breeds resilience. When challenges come, you don't break, you bend and bounce back. 3. Opportunities hide in disruption. Every shift brings new possibilities, but only those who adapt can seize them. 4. Adaptable people lead. Others look for guidance when things get uncertain. If you show calmness and flexibility, you naturally become a leader. The traits of adaptable professionals. So what does it look like to adapt like water in your career? Adaptable professionals share a few key traits. They embrace uncertainty. Instead of fearing the unknown, they see it as an open field for growth. They are curious learners. Adaptable people don't cling to what they already know. They actively seek new skills and perspectives. They detach from ego. Holding on to how things have always been often comes from pride. Adaptable thinkers are willing to unlearn and start fresh. They stay emotionally steady. Change often triggers panic, but adaptability requires calm thinking under pressure. They pivot with purpose. They don't abandon their long-term vision, they adjust their path toward it. How to build adaptability. You may be thinking, but I'm not naturally flexible. The good news is that adaptability is a skill you can develop, just like any other. Here's how to cultivate it. 1. Practice detachment from outcomes. One of the biggest barriers to adaptability is attachment to a specific plan. When things don't go exactly as expected, you feel crushed. To adapt, you must hold your goals firmly, but your methods loosely. Be committed to the destination, but flexible with the route. 2. Train for change. Don't just adapt when forced. Practice adapting in small ways every day. Try a new workflow. Experiment with a new tool. Take on projects outside your comfort zone. These small exercises train your brain to become comfortable with uncertainty. 3. Strengthen your learning muscle. The best way to stay adaptable is to keep learning. Read broadly. Take online courses. Follow trends in your industry. Knowledge is like oxygen in times of change. It helps you breathe when others are suffocating. 4. Develop emotional agility. Adaptability isn't just about skills, it's about mindset. Practice noticing your emotions during change. Instead of panicking, ask, what can I control right now? What's the opportunity here? Emotional agility allows you to stay level-headed and strategic. 5. Build a support network. Adaptability isn't a solo sport. Surround yourself with diverse thinkers who can give fresh perspectives. In moments of change, your network becomes a source of ideas, encouragement, and opportunities. The flow versus force principle. Water teaches us that sometimes the smartest move is not to resist, but to flow. If your company is shifting toward a new strategy, resisting only isolates you. But flowing with the change, while maintaining your core values, keeps you relevant and influential. However, adaptability doesn't mean being passive. Water also teaches us force. When needed, it gathers strength, crashes through barriers, and reshapes landscapes. Adaptability requires discernment, knowing when to flow around obstacles and when to push through them. Strategic thinkers master both. Real-life example, Elon Musk. Love him or hate him, Elon Musk is a prime example of adaptability. He didn't stay locked into one industry. After PayPal, he pivoted to electric cars with Tesla.
Then he adapted again, venturing into space exploration with SpaceX, and even into renewable energy and AI. Musk's ability to flow between industries and apply lessons across domains is a masterclass in adaptability. What if he had said, "I'm just a finance guy"? He would have been left behind. His willingness to adapt has made him one of the most influential figures of our time. The risk of rigidity. If adaptability is strength, rigidity is weakness. Rigid professionals resist new tools, fear learning new skills, and cling to the comfort of the familiar. They often say things like, "This is how we've always done it." The risk of rigidity is irrelevance. The world doesn't slow down to match your comfort zone. If you refuse to change, you don't just stand still, you fall behind. Rigidity may feel safe today, but it becomes dangerous tomorrow. Adaptability in action. Everyday examples. A marketer who shifts from print campaigns to mastering digital ads stays ahead of the curve. A teacher who embraces technology instead of resisting it creates more engaging classrooms. An employee who quickly learns a new software update becomes indispensable to their team. In every case, the adaptable person gains an edge because they see change as an ally, not an enemy. Practical exercises to strengthen adaptability. Here are a few ways you can train yourself to adapt like water. Change one routine per week. Take a new route to work. Try a different problem-solving method, or switch how you manage your tasks. Small flexibility builds bigger adaptability. Seek discomfort. Put yourself in situations where you're not the expert. Being a beginner again humbles your ego and sharpens your learning skills. Ask "what if" daily. Imagine scenarios where things don't go as planned. Then mentally rehearse how you would respond. This builds mental readiness. Reflect on past changes. Think of times when you faced unexpected challenges. What worked? What didn't? Reflection turns past experiences into future wisdom.
Chapter 6. Network with Intention. When most people hear the word networking, they picture awkward events with forced smiles, cheap coffee, and people handing out business cards like confetti. No wonder many professionals roll their eyes at the idea. But here's the truth. Real networking has nothing to do with small talk or transactional exchanges. Strategic networking is about building relationships that matter, relationships that not only support your goals, but also create value for others. Networking, when done with intention, is one of the most powerful tools for career growth. The right connection can open doors that skills alone may never unlock. One introduction can lead to opportunities that transform your trajectory. In fact, studies show that nearly 80% of jobs are filled through networking, not traditional applications. Yet, despite its importance, most people approach networking randomly, without strategy. They focus on collecting contacts rather than cultivating meaningful connections. This chapter will show you how to flip that script. You'll learn how to approach networking like a strategist, not as a desperate hunter chasing leads, but as a farmer planting seeds that will grow into strong, supportive relationships over time. Why intentional networking matters. Let's face it, time is limited. You can't build deep connections with everyone. That's why intention matters. Intentional networking means focusing your energy on relationships that align with your long-term vision. It's not about using people, it's about recognizing where genuine synergy exists and where you can both grow together. Think of networking like investing. You wouldn't pour money into random stocks without research. Similarly, don't pour your time into shallow connections that don't align with your goals. Instead, invest in building relationships that compound in value over time. Intentional networking matters because it saves time. Instead of chasing everyone, you focus on quality over quantity. It builds depth. Deeper relationships create stronger trust and influence. It compounds. One intentional relationship
often leads to 5 more meaningful ones. And it creates reciprocity. Strategic connections are built on mutual value, not one-sided requests. Networking is not transactional. The biggest mistake people make is treating networking like a transaction. What can you do for me? This approach repels people because it feels manipulative. Intentional networking flips the script. How can I add value to you? When you focus on helping others, sharing resources, connecting them with opportunities, offering your knowledge, you build goodwill. That goodwill creates trust, and trust creates opportunities. The law of reciprocity is real. When you give first, people remember and often return the favor in ways you never imagined. The most influential people in the world aren't those who take the most, they're those who give the most. They become magnets because people naturally want to work with them, help them, and recommend them. The power of weak ties. A fascinating study by sociologist Mark Granovetter revealed the strength of weak ties. Surprisingly, it's not always your closest friends who bring you new opportunities. Instead, it's often acquaintances, people you don't interact with daily because they have access to different circles. Your inner circle tends to know the same people and opportunities you do. But weak ties, former classmates, distant colleagues, people you meet occasionally, introduce you to entirely new networks. This doesn't mean you should ignore close connections. It means you must maintain a balance, keeping weak ties alive through occasional outreach. A simple, "How are you doing?" can reignite a connection that later leads to life-changing opportunities. Building a strategic network. So how do you build a network with intention? It's about designing your connections around 3 key groups. Mentors and guides. These are people ahead of you who can share wisdom, feedback, and perspective. Their experience accelerates your growth by helping you avoid mistakes they've already made. Peers and collaborators. These are colleagues at your level who share your ambitions. Together, you support, challenge, and inspire each other. This peer network often provides accountability and collaboration opportunities. Rising talent. Never ignore those coming up behind you. Today's intern could be tomorrow's CEO. Building relationships across levels ensures you stay connected to fresh ideas and future leaders. By balancing these groups, you create a dynamic, layered network that provides both immediate and long-term value. Practical strategies for intentional networking. 1. Start with clarity. Before networking, ask yourself, what's my long-term vision? Who are the people I need to learn from, collaborate with, or support? Clarity prevents wasted effort. 2. Lead with value. Every time you meet someone, ask, how can I help this person? It could be as simple as sharing a resource, making an introduction, or offering encouragement. 3. Use the give-ask rule. Always aim to give 3 times before you ask for anything. This builds trust and demonstrates goodwill. 4. Nurture, don't neglect. Networking isn't one and done. Follow up. Send a thank you message. Share an article that made you think of them. Stay top of mind without being intrusive. 5. Diversify your circles. Don't only network within your industry. Innovation often comes from cross-pollination, ideas borrowed from one field applied to another. Expand beyond your comfort zone. The long game of networking. Networking isn't about quick wins. It's about building trust over time. Think of it like planting a tree. You don't get shade the day you plant it, but years later, the benefits are enormous. The most powerful networks are built slowly, with consistent effort. They're not rushed or forced. By playing the long game, you ensure that when opportunities arise, you have a community ready to support you. Real-life example, Oprah Winfrey. Oprah's career is a masterclass in intentional networking.
She didn't just build connections. She built deep, authentic relationships based on mutual trust and respect. From celebrities to everyday people, Oprah approached each relationship with genuine interest and care. Her network became her empire, not because she exploited people, but because she uplifted them. Her ability to connect meaningfully turned her into one of the most influential voices of our time. Avoiding networking pitfalls. Even with the best intentions, many people fall into common traps. Being too self-focused. If every conversation is about what you want, people lose interest quickly. Neglecting follow-up. Meeting someone once and never reconnecting wastes the potential of the relationship. Chasing quantity over quality. 1,000 shallow contacts are less valuable than 10 meaningful ones. Forgetting authenticity. Pretending to be someone you're not only damages trust. Be genuine. People can sense it. Digital networking in the modern age. Networking today isn't limited to conferences and coffee meetings. Digital platforms like LinkedIn, Twitter, and professional forums have expanded opportunities to connect globally. But the same principles apply. Be intentional, give value, and follow up. Instead of blasting generic connection requests, personalize your outreach. Reference a shared interest or compliment someone's work. Once connected, engage with their content genuinely. Comment thoughtfully, share their insights, and build the digital presence that attracts meaningful interactions. Digital networking also makes it easier to nurture weak ties. A quick message, a congratulatory note, or even a thoughtful comment keeps you in someone's mind without demanding their time.
Chapter 7. The Power of Positioning. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to always be in the right place at the right time? They don't appear frantic, desperate, or constantly chasing opportunities. Instead, opportunities seem to find them. Job offers, collaborations, promotions, or mentorships arrive almost effortlessly. This is not luck. This is the result of strategic positioning, a deliberate mindset and set of actions that put you where opportunities naturally gravitate. Positioning is about more than physical presence or showing up at events. It is about perception, influence, and alignment. It is how you present yourself, where you focus your energy, and how you create visibility in the areas that matter most. Professionals who master positioning don't just wait for good things to happen. They design a professional environment in which good things are inevitable. Why positioning matters? In a competitive world, talent alone is rarely enough. Countless professionals possess skills, degrees, and experience, but only a few rise to leadership or achieve exceptional career growth. Why? Because they are strategically positioned. Positioning allows you to be visible to the right people. Great ideas mean nothing if the decision-makers don't see or hear them. Attract opportunities rather than chasing them. When your expertise and presence are known, offers come to you. Command influence and credibility. Strategic positioning signals authority, competence, and reliability. Control your narrative. By choosing where and how you show up, you shape how others perceive you. Without positioning, even the most talented individuals remain unnoticed. They compete blindly, hoping to stumble across opportunities. With positioning, you become magnetic. Your career moves with intention rather than chance. Understanding your unique value. Positioning starts with clarity about your value. To attract the right opportunities, you must know what you bring to the table. This is not about arrogance, it is about confidence and self-awareness. Ask yourself, what are my unique strengths? What problems can I solve better than most people? Which areas do I want to be recognized for? Once you understand your unique value, you can position yourself in a way that makes it visible and compelling to the people who matter. This is the difference between blending in and standing out. The 3 pillars of positioning. Strategic positioning rests on 3 interconnected pillars: visibility, credibility, and alignment. 1. Visibility. Visibility is about making yourself seen by the right audience. Many professionals work hard behind the scenes, but without visibility, effort alone goes unnoticed. Be present where decisions happen. Attend key meetings, industry events, or online forums where your expertise is relevant. Showcase your work strategically. Share results, projects, or insights through presentations, articles, or digital platforms. Leverage social proof. Recommendations, testimonials, and endorsements amplify your presence. Visibility is not about being loud. It is about being deliberately noticeable to the people whose perception matters most. Credibility. Visibility without credibility is empty. People pay attention to those they trust and respect. Credibility comes from consistent performance, integrity, and expertise. Deliver results consistently. Reputation is built through repeated excellence. Communicate with authority. Share insights confidently. Back up claims with evidence and offer practical solutions. Be reliable. Dependability earns trust faster than talent alone. Credibility ensures that when you are seen, you are respected. Opportunities naturally flow toward people who are not only visible, but also trusted. Alignment. Alignment ensures that your positioning matches the environment and opportunities you seek. You can be visible and credible, but if your message, skills, and values don't align with the people or industries you target, opportunities will bypass you. Identify your target ecosystem. Understand the industries, companies, or communities that reflect your goals. Tailor your presence. Position yourself to highlight the skills and traits that resonate most with that ecosystem. Stay consistent. Your personal brand, communication style, and expertise must consistently reinforce your positioning. Alignment ensures that when opportunity knocks, it is the right opportunity, not just random noise. Positioning and action. Let's consider an example. Samantha is a talented software engineer. She works hard but never raises her hand for leadership opportunities. She doesn't contribute to open source projects, attend industry conferences, or publish insights online. Despite her skills, promotions bypass her. Contrast Samantha with Alex, who possesses similar technical skills. Alex publishes thoughtful articles, speaks at conferences, mentors junior developers, and participates in online communities. Leaders recognize his name, value his perspective, and seek him out for projects and promotions. Alex isn't luckier than Samantha. He is strategically positioned. His visibility, credibility, and alignment create a magnet that draws opportunities directly to him. Digital positioning. In the modern era, digital presence is a critical component of positioning. Platforms like LinkedIn, Medium, and Twitter allow you to showcase expertise beyond your immediate circle. Share knowledge consistently. Post insights, case studies, or lessons learned. Value-driven content attracts attention from people who matter. Engage meaningfully. Comment on posts, participate in discussions, and connect with thought leaders. Highlight achievements strategically. Your profile should tell a story of growth, impact, and expertise. Digital positioning amplifies your reach and ensures that opportunities aren't limited by geography or existing networks. Timing and patience. Positioning is not about instant results, it's a long-term investment. Strategic positioning compounds over time. Early efforts may seem invisible, but as your visibility, credibility, and alignment grow, opportunities start flowing naturally. Patience is essential. It's important to remember that positioning doesn't replace hard work, it enhances it. The work you do daily must align with how you position yourself publicly and privately. The combination of skill and strategic presence create exponential career leverage. Avoiding common pitfalls. Even with a good understanding of positioning, many professionals sabotage themselves. Being visible without substance. Post frequently but don't offer value. People notice, but they don't respect it. Overextending. Trying to be everywhere dilutes your impact. Focus on key channels and communities. Inconsistency. Mixed messages confuse people about who you are and what you stand for. Chasing attention. Positioning isn't self-promotion for its own sake.
It's intentional and value-driven. Exercises for strategic positioning. Map your ecosystem. Identify the people, companies, and communities where your opportunities exist. Audit your presence. Review how visible and credible you are in that ecosystem, both online and offline. Highlight unique value. Craft a short statement that communicates what you do and why it matters to your target audience. Engage consistently. Create a routine to share insights, attend relevant events, and nurture relationships. Measure and adjust. Regularly assess whether your positioning attracts the opportunities you want and refine accordingly. Real-life example, Richard Branson. Richard Branson's career demonstrates the power of positioning. Branson didn't just create businesses, he positioned himself as a visionary entrepreneur willing to take risks, explore new industries, and challenge norms. His visibility, credibility, and alignment with innovation made him a magnet for partnerships, media attention, and global opportunities. Branson's personal brand became inseparable from the success of his ventures, illustrating how strategic positioning can amplify results.
Chapter 8. Decision-Making Under Pressure. Have you ever faced a moment when you had to make a critical decision quickly and the pressure felt suffocating? Perhaps it was a major project deadline, a sudden career pivot, or a high-stakes negotiation where the stakes couldn't have been higher. How you respond in these moments often defines the trajectory of your career. Strategic minds understand that high-pressure decisions are not just tests, they are opportunities to separate themselves from the rest. Decision-making under pressure is a skill, not a talent. It is the ability to evaluate options quickly, minimize risk, and act confidently even when the outcome is uncertain. Why pressure reveals true strategy. Pressure strips away the comfort of time, routine, and certainty. In these moments, your strategic mindset is tested. It's easy to rely on assumptions, past habits, or panic responses, but those who make thoughtful, high-quality decisions under pressure consistently outperform others. Why does this matter? Because the business world, technology, and even personal opportunities rarely unfold in perfect conditions. Delays, unexpected challenges, and rapid changes are the norm. Your ability to remain clear-headed and decisive is what allows you to seize opportunities while others hesitate. The psychology of pressure. Pressure affects the brain in predictable ways. When faced with high stakes, the amygdala, the part responsible for fear and emotional reactions, often hijacks rational thinking. Stress hormones surge, attention narrows, and impulsive reactions increase. This is why many decisions under pressure lead to mistakes. Strategic decision-makers learn to manage these physiological responses. They use techniques to calm the mind, expand awareness, and approach decisions systematically rather than emotionally. One core principle is pause and assess. Even a brief pause, just a few seconds, can reduce impulsive reactions and allow your prefrontal cortex, the rational thinking part of the brain, to engage. Frameworks for high-pressure decision-making. Decision-making under pressure requires structure. Without a framework, choices can feel chaotic and overwhelming. Here are proven strategies used by top professionals. 1. The three-option evaluation. When faced with multiple options, limit yourself to 3 potential paths. The most logical choice based on data. The high-risk, high-reward choice. The safe, conservative choice. Evaluating just 3 options prevents analysis paralysis and allows you to focus on the most meaningful possibilities. 2. The worst-case analysis. Ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen if I choose this option? Can I handle it? Assessing potential downsides reduces fear and helps you make rational choices. Often the worst-case scenario is manageable, which frees you to act with confidence. 3. Time-boxed decisions. Set a strict time limit for deciding. This prevents overthinking and forces prioritization. For example, you might give yourself 30 minutes to choose a vendor, 1 hour to respond to a major proposal, or a single day to pivot a project plan. Time constraints focus the mind on essentials and prevent second-guessing. 4. Probability weighting. Estimate the likelihood of outcomes for each option. Assign rough probabilities and evaluate the expected value. This quantitative approach reduces reliance on gut feelings alone while still allowing quick action. Managing risk under pressure. Every high-pressure decision carries risk. Strategic decision-makers do not aim to eliminate risk entirely. They aim to minimize and manage it. Start by identifying the variables you can control versus those you cannot. Focus energy on what's controllable. For uncontrollable factors, develop contingency plans. For example, if a product launch may fail due to external supply issues, have backup suppliers or flexible timelines in place. Managing risk in this way transforms uncertainty into calculated, manageable challenges. The role of intuition. While structured frameworks and analysis are essential, intuition also plays a crucial role under pressure. Intuition is not random guessing. It is pattern recognition developed through experience. When you've faced similar challenges repeatedly, your brain starts to recognize subtle cues and trends, allowing for rapid, informed judgments. The key is to balance intuition with structured thinking. Experienced professionals often start with a gut sense of the right choice, then quickly test it against logical frameworks and risk assessments. This combination allows for confident, rapid decisions without being reckless. Staying calm under pressure. One of the most powerful advantages in high-pressure decision-making is emotional regulation. Calmness enables clear thinking, better evaluation of options, and improved communication with stakeholders. Techniques for maintaining calm include controlled breathing. Simple breathing exercises reduce stress hormone levels and improve focus. Micro pauses. Even a brief pause before responding or choosing allows the rational brain to engage. Visualization. Mentally rehearse high-pressure scenarios. Visualization trains your mind to stay composed when real pressure hits. Calmness also conveys confidence to others. Leaders who maintain composure in critical moments inspire trust, even if the decision itself carries risk. Learning from high-stakes scenarios. Every high-pressure decision is also a learning opportunity. After the fact, strategic thinkers analyze what worked well, what could have been improved, which biases affected the decision. This reflection strengthens future decision-making. Over time, repeated exposure to pressure builds resilience, sharper intuition, and faster cognitive processing. Real-life example, Apollo 13. A classic example of decision-making under extreme pressure is NASA's Apollo 13 mission. When the spacecraft suffered a critical failure, the crew and ground team faced life-and-death decisions with limited time and resources. Panic could have been disastrous. Instead, they combined intuition, structured problem-solving, risk management, and clear communication. Each decision was deliberate yet swift. Their survival and eventual safe return demonstrate how pressure can be transformed into strategic opportunity when approached methodically. Common pitfalls to avoid. Overanalysis. Excessive thinking in high-pressure moments can delay action and magnify stress. Reacting emotionally. Decisions made purely out of fear, frustration, or ego often backfire. Ignoring data. While intuition is valuable, neglecting available information increases avoidable risk. Failure to prioritize. Not identifying the most critical variables leads to scattered energy and ineffective outcomes. Practical steps to improve decision-making. Prepare in advance. Anticipate potential high-pressure scenarios and outline possible strategies. Preparation reduces stress when they occur. Develop mental checklists. Simple steps for evaluating options can save valuable time in crises. Seek diverse perspectives. When possible, consult trusted colleagues or mentors quickly. Fresh insights can highlight risks or opportunities you missed. Reflect consistently. Review past decisions to identify biases, patterns, and lessons learned. This strengthens intuition and judgment over time.
Chapter 9. Turn setbacks into strategy. Have you ever felt the sting of rejection, the frustration of a failed project, or the despair of a missed opportunity? Most people see setbacks as dead ends, moments to pause, or even reasons to quit. But the most successful professionals view setbacks differently. They see them as data, as feedback, and as stepping stones towards something greater. Turning setbacks into strategy is the hallmark of a strategic mindset. It's the ability to extract lessons, pivot intelligently, and use adversity to propel yourself forward. Setbacks are inevitable. Every career, no matter how successful, encounters obstacles. The difference lies not in avoiding failure, but in how you respond. Those who panic or give up waste opportunities disguised as challenges. Those who reflect, learn, and act strategically convert temporary failures into long-term advantage. The value hidden in setbacks. Failure is more than a temporary loss. It's a high-value learning opportunity. When a project fails, a deal collapses, or a presentation falls flat, the situation holds a wealth of insight. What worked, what didn't, and what could have been done differently. Many people ignore these lessons because it's painful to examine mistakes. But pain is often a gateway to clarity. Setbacks reveal gaps in knowledge, strategy, or execution. They expose blind spots that, once addressed, make you stronger and more prepared for future opportunities. A career built solely on victories rarely teaches as much as one tempered by adversity. Each setback becomes a teacher, offering insights that textbooks and courses cannot replicate. Reframing your mindset. The first step in turning setbacks into strategy is reframing your mindset. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" ask, "What can I learn from this, and how can I use it?" This subtle shift transforms emotional energy from frustration into problem-solving power. Mindset matters because perception shapes action. Two people can face the same failure and react differently. One feels paralyzed, while the other analyzes, adjusts, and advances. Strategic thinkers cultivate resilience by seeing setbacks not as punishment, but as guidance, nudging them toward more informed decisions. The strategic approach to setbacks. Turning setbacks into strategy requires a methodical approach. Here is a framework that strategic minds use to extract maximum value from adversity. 1. Analyze without blame. Avoid blaming yourself for others. Instead, dissect the situation objectively. What were the key factors that led to the setback? Which elements were within your control, and which were external? Separating responsibility from circumstance helps you focus on actionable lessons rather than getting stuck in guilt or frustration. 2. Extract lessons quickly. The longer you dwell on failure, the more it drains your energy. Identify at least 3 lessons from each setback. These can be tactical, like improving communication, or strategic, like refining your decision-making process. Capture them in writing so you can reference them for future decisions. 3. Pivot strategically. A setback often requires a change in approach, not abandonment of your goal. Strategic pivots are informed by insights from failure. For example, if a business proposal is rejected, you may revise the pitch, adjust the audience, or improve supporting data. The pivot isn't random, it's deliberate and informed. 4. Build contingency plans. Every failure exposes vulnerabilities. Use this insight to create backup plans. The next time a similar challenge arises, you're prepared.
Contingency planning reduces risk and builds confidence in your ability to handle adversity. 5. Share and reflect. Discussing setbacks with mentors, peers, or trusted colleagues provides perspective. Others may spot solutions or patterns you missed. Reflection combined with external input accelerates learning and reinforces a proactive mindset. Real-life example. J.K. Rowling. Few stories illustrate this principle better than J.K. Rowling's journey to publishing Harry Potter. Before achieving worldwide fame, Rowling faced numerous rejections from publishers. Many would have interpreted these setbacks as signals to quit. Instead, she analyzed feedback, refined her manuscript, and persisted. Each rejection became part of her strategy, teaching her how to present her story more compellingly, how to anticipate critics' concerns, and how to persevere despite doubt. Her ultimate success wasn't accidental. It was the result of turning repeated setbacks into a roadmap for eventual triumph. Resilience as a strategic advantage. Resilience is not just endurance, it's intelligence applied under pressure. When setbacks occur, resilient professionals maintain emotional balance, assess the situation, and take deliberate steps forward. Resilience allows you to keep momentum even when circumstances are unfavorable. Strategically, resilience creates leverage. People gravitate toward those who recover quickly and continue moving forward. Your ability to handle setbacks builds credibility, influence, and reputation. Leaders notice not just your successes, but how you respond when things go wrong. Avoiding common mistakes. Even when trying to learn from setbacks, many professionals fall into traps. Dwelling on the past. Excessive reflection without action wastes time and energy. Ignoring feedback. Lessons are often subtle, and failure without analysis becomes a repeat mistake. Reacting emotionally. Decisions made in frustration often exacerbate problems. Giving up too soon. Setbacks are temporary. Quitting ensures failure becomes permanent. The key is to combine emotional regulation with structured reflection and action. Only then does a setback transform from a threat into a strategic opportunity. Turning rejection into growth. Rejection is a common and often painful setback in careers. Whether it's a missed promotion, declined job offer, or turned down proposal, rejection is feedback disguised as a challenge. Strategic thinkers don't take it personally, they dissect it. Ask questions like, did I present my value clearly? Did I align my approach with the decision maker's priorities? What external factors influence the outcome? By evaluating rejection objectively, you identify gaps and refine your strategy for next time. Each rejection becomes a stepping stone, shaping a stronger, more informed approach to future opportunities. The compound effect of setbacks. One setback rarely defines your career, but a pattern of learning from setbacks compounds into extraordinary advantage. Each failure teaches, each pivot informs, and each lesson compounds into wisdom and capability. Over time, this cumulative growth differentiates strategic thinkers from those who rely solely on luck or comfort. The difference is clear. People who treat setbacks as temporary obstacles often repeat the same mistakes, while those who analyze and adjust create a trajectory of continuous improvement. The latter group consistently outperforms peers, builds resilience, and opens doors that otherwise would remain closed.
Chapter 10. Think like a CEO of your career. Have you ever considered what it would mean to treat your career like a business? Most professionals work hard, follow instructions, and hope for promotions or opportunities, but few take a strategic CEO-level approach to their own growth. Thinking like a CEO of your career means owning every aspect of your professional life, setting a vision, making deliberate decisions, managing risks, investing in growth, and continuously measuring outcomes. It's about taking responsibility for your success rather than waiting for someone else to create opportunities for you. A CEO is not reactive. They don't wait for crises to strike or hope that luck brings favorable outcomes. They analyze markets, anticipate trends, leverage resources, and make calculated decisions that maximize long-term success. Your career is no different. The same principles that make a CEO successful, strategy, accountability, adaptability, and foresight, can be applied to your professional journey to accelerate growth and unlock opportunities. Ownership, the core of CEO thinking. The first step to thinking like a CEO is taking full ownership of your career. Most professionals unconsciously abdicate responsibility, blaming circumstances, bosses, or luck for stagnation. A CEO never does this. They understand that while external factors influence outcomes, responsibility for strategy, execution, and results always rests with them. Ownership means defining your goals clearly. A CEO knows what success looks like. Similarly, you must articulate your career vision, both short-term and long-term. Tracking progress. CEOs use KPIs to measure company performance. For your career, track skills acquired, achievements, networks built, and projects completed. Holding yourself accountable. There's no one else to answer to. Decisions, effort, and results are yours alone. By embracing ownership, you shift from being a passive participant to an active architect of your future. You stop asking, "Will this opportunity come to me?" and start asking, "What can I do today to create the opportunities I want?" Strategic planning for your career. CEOs don't rely on guesswork. They develop strategic plans. Thinking like a CEO requires the same approach for your career. Start with a vision and mission. Where do you want to be in 5, 10, or 20 years? Next, perform a market analysis. What industries, skills, and trends will shape your field? Finally, develop a roadmap with milestones and metrics that measure your progress toward your goals. Strategic planning also includes risk assessment. Identify potential threats, technological changes, market shifts, or skill gaps, and plan mitigation strategies. At the same time, identify opportunities for growth and expansion. Just as a CEO anticipates both challenges and openings, you should position yourself proactively rather than reactively. Invest in yourself like a CEO. CEOs understand the value of investment. They allocate resources strategically to maximize returns. In the context of your career, you are the asset. Investing in yourself is non-negotiable if you want to think like a CEO. Investments include skill development. Continuously update your technical, leadership, and interpersonal skills. The workplace evolves rapidly. Staying relevant is crucial. Education and learning. Courses, certifications, and workshops are not expenses. They are growth capital. Health and mindset. A CEO's effectiveness depends on physical and mental well-being. High performance requires energy, focus, and resilience. Networking. Building strategic relationships expands influence and opportunity. The connections you cultivate are equivalent to business partnerships that yield long-term returns. The key is intentionality. Every investment should align with your career strategy and contribute to long-term goals rather than short-term gratification. Decision-making and accountability. CEOs make countless decisions every day, balancing risk, reward, and resources. Thinking like a CEO in your career requires mastering the art of strategic decision-making. Use a structured approach. Evaluate options, assess risks, project outcomes, and act decisively. Avoid paralysis by analysis, but don't rush impulsively. Every choice, from accepting a job to taking on a new project, shapes your career trajectory. Accountability is equally critical. CEOs take responsibility for both success and failure. Similarly, you must evaluate outcomes honestly, learn from mistakes, and adjust strategies accordingly. Accountability transforms setbacks into growth, creating a cycle of continuous improvement and strategic advancement. Building a personal brand. CEOs understand the power of reputation. Your personal brand is your professional currency. It communicates your value, expertise, and reliability. A strong personal brand helps you attract opportunities and collaborators, stand out in competitive environments, build trust and credibility with peers, mentors, and leaders. To build a personal brand, define your unique value proposition. What do you do better than anyone else, and how do you want others to perceive you? Then, consistently demonstrate that value through your work, communication, and interactions. Leverage digital platforms, public speaking, and thought leadership to amplify visibility. A well-crafted brand ensures that, like a CEO, you are recognized as a leader in your space. Leading yourself and others. Thinking like a CEO also means developing leadership skills, not necessarily over a team immediately, but in managing yourself and influence. Self-leadership includes setting boundaries, managing time effectively, and aligning actions with strategic goals. When you lead yourself successfully, leading others becomes natural. Strategic thinkers inspire, influence, and motivate colleagues, clients, and collaborators. Leadership in a career context is not about title, it's about impact. People follow those who demonstrate clarity, confidence, and competence. Resilience and adaptability. No CEO operates in a static environment, and neither should you. Careers are full of uncertainty, rapid change, and unexpected challenges. Resilience, the ability to bounce back from setbacks, and adaptability, the capacity to adjust strategy when conditions change, are fundamental CEO traits. By combining foresight with flexibility, you navigate uncertainty confidently. When opportunities shift or obstacles arise, you pivot without losing momentum. Strategic CEOs thrive because they view change not as a threat, but as an environment to shape. Metrics and reflection. CEOs measure everything. They track revenue, growth, customer satisfaction, and market share. Similarly, you should track progress, evaluate outcomes, and reflect regularly. Set tangible metrics for your career: skills mastered, projects completed, promotions earned, networks built, and goals achieved. Schedule quarterly reflections to assess alignment with your strategy. Ask yourself, what worked well this quarter? Where did I fall short? And what adjustments are necessary for the next phase? Reflection ensures that decisions are informed, strategy evolves, and momentum is sustained. Without measurement, even the most deliberate actions can lead to stagnation. The long-term vision. Thinking like a CEO is about long-term value creation. Decisions today shape opportunities tomorrow. Each project, relationship, skill, or choice compounds over time, creating career equity that multiplies like a well-managed business. Strategic thinkers avoid short-term shortcuts that compromise long-term growth. They understand that sustainable success is built through consistent effort, informed decisions, and proactive positioning. Your career becomes a living enterprise, continuously evolving toward greater influence, impact, and fulfillment.